Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Constitution that corrupts. All good comes from remembrance or dhikr of the divine, and all harm comes from heedlessness or ghaflah. Heedlessness or negligence in remembering the divine is the polar opposite of divine remembrance. Heedlessness or ghaflah is any time that I am not remembering the divine. It is the root of all harm, because when I am in heedlessness, I am distancing myself from the source of infinite good and benefit. The origin of every disobedience to the divine, every sin and every evil inner trait is heedlessness or ghaflah. For if I truly remembered the divine with my heart or qalb, how could I transgress against his wishes? If I truly remembered the divine, how could I adorn my inner reality with those traits that he does not love? The grave consequences of heedlessness or ghaflah should never be discounted in any way. It is for this reason that Allah commands us to be in abundant, constant, divine remembrance. The commandment to engage in divine remembrance or dhikr is always coupled with the adjective plentiful or abundant. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا. Furthermore, divine remembrance is always highly recommended without any restriction of time, place, or occasion. Life is a struggle against heedlessness, and the avenues of divine remembrance are diverse and themselves plentiful and abundant. Reciting the Qur'an, prayer or salah, sending peace upon the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam through salawat, supplication or dua, reflection, divine mindfulness or muraqabah, charity, sadaqah, forgiveness, and all other beautiful virtues, as well as the many untold actions of the senses that seek the pleasure of the divine. Heedlessness or ghaflah affects the spiritual heart, the qalb, and its functions. As we discussed earlier, the heart or qalb is created to perceive truths, experience them, and seek them. The heart was created to know, experience, and resolve to seek the divine. Any time that I am in heedlessness or ghaflah, I will be unable to perceive truth clearly, experience it, and act to follow it. And my activism will be affected accordingly. At another level, which we have also discussed, the distance from the divine will only empower my lower self or nafs, which will then lead my words and actions through its carnal appetites, shahawat, and its ideological inclinations, ahwa. I will not lead my nafs, but be led by it, and my activism will again be affected accordingly. The seeds that generate our heedlessness, ghaflah, are the sundry attachments of our lower selves, nufus, that are enabled by certain environments and company. Without doubt, I will take on the ethical or unethical characteristics of my environment and friends. I am not spiritually immune to the influences around me. Little by little, my inner moral reality will begin to conform to my outer moral stimuli. Why else does the divine exhort us in the Qur'an to seek the company of the truthful. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. The verse indicates that the cultivation of outer and inner sincerity is attained through being with those that have acquired these spiritual states. And why does the Divine further exhort us to not follow, quote, one whose heart is heedless of our remembrance? Because as Allah tells us, their affairs will be excessive. If we do not guard ourselves against heedlessness, ghaflah, in our activism, and if we do not pay attention to the company and environments that we subject ourselves to, we will empower the inclinations of our lower self, and after a time, the moral constants that we so firmly recognized will become grey and greyer until they are ultimately whitewashed unrecognizably. A constitution corrupted. O you who have attained faith, remember Allah abundantly. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.